recording. Wait. Yeah, recording has started. So after enabling the developers option, we will move to our basic Android part. So let's start with some theory. Like we will, uh, yes,
Hey,
uh, guys, please mute yourself if you have no queries. So
Hello.
yeah, yes,
I am enable the USB debugging, but install debugging is not available. What can I do?
uh,
My phone.
yeah, there will be one option like either you will have verify app over USB or install app over USB. Is there any option?
Verify by USB. Okay, I will done it.
Just enable that. Like it depends from mobile to mobile. Some mobiles have verify app and some have install app. Just enable both of them. Okay. So yeah, let's start the Android part. So before we begin, let's have some theory part. So in the Android, whatever you see in your phone is consist of a view. Like what exactly a view is. A view is an space which is in the small rectangular box that occupies the area in the screen of your mobile. I guess it may be not clear right now. So I am showing you an image. On the left side, you can see there are many things written. Like there is a text written name on the top of the screen. Is my cursor visible?
yes, sir.
Ah, so yeah, as you can see, my cursor is placed on a text called name. So and below that there is a text called Ram Kumar. So these tags are placed inside a container. Like a view is just a container. Uh, Someone has raised your hand. Okay. If you guys have any query, you can just text in the chat box. I will respond to it later. So yeah. So as I was explaining, there is a text written name. Below that, there is a text written Ram Kumar. So whatever you see in the Android application is contained in a container known as view. So the view is just a container, as I am showing you in the red dotted color, dotted box, that this is a view which is containing the text called Ram Kumar, and this is called an edit text view. We will discuss these things like what is text view, edit text view, checkbox, image view, and whatever in the next slide and in the upcoming session. Below that, in the left side, there are two options called from get and mail get, and there is a checkbox. So this is also a view, which is also a container which is storing a box to tick mark, and a text to display what is we are checking. And on the right side, there are again two box which contains a button in the circular form, and these are called radio buttons, and a text about the button text. And below that, there is an image of Android which is shown as an image button. We will discuss everything about like what is image button, what is an image view in the next slide. And on the bottom of that, we can see again an Android logo, which is taking a space as mentioned in this red dotted box, and it is storing an image view. The view, that is the container, rectangular container, is storing an image. That's why this view is known as image view. Similarly, the box which is storing the name at the top of this is called as text view because it is storing a text. And similarly, the box that is taking the input from the user, such as the Ram Kumar, is known as edit text view. You will get to know and will familiar with all of them when you start developing your own apps and working on it in the later stage. So no need to worry about that. And at that end, you can see and a button which has a text called enter, and which says it has some actions, like it has some property, like on pressing on this we will submit our form or we move to next slide. So that's why it is known as a button, and this is called a button view. Like a view that is a container, rectangular container, which is storing a button functionality. So after that, We will explain each of the some of the views in details, like a text view. As I explained earlier, a view is just a container which is storing the data, which is storing whatever we want to display. So text view is the container which stores the text we want to display. Like in the top, we can see a text called main title. Then below that, we can see a text called a subtitle. Then there's some HTML. Look, here's an underline. Look, this is emphasized, and here's some bold. So these are some text which has different properties, which we will again discuss in next later slides. Like the main title is bold and it has large text size. Then a subtitle which has smaller text size than the main title, and there is some paragraphs which is written here. So for now, you just consider like a text view is a view which contains textual data. Whatever you want to write, your name, your email ID, your password, your phone number, anything, you can display in the text view. Now, on the second, we have a view called edit text. So edit text is same as text view, which also displays the text, but it takes the user input. Like if you have opened your Instagram or LinkedIn account, or when you open any social media account, it generally asks you to enter your name, phone number, Gmail ID, or password. So whatever you write is taken in a view known as edit text. So it is a type of view which is taking input from the user and which can be displayed or which can be used for our analysis. Like in this example, we have Abhi, which is written in a text which can be referred as a name. Below that, there will be some PIN number or password, which is shown as in dotted form. Below that, there is an email ID option, date of birth, and then a phone number. So all of them are edit text, and their details are and they are different based on their attributes, which we'll discuss later, like how these things are attribute. Like Abhi is displaying properly, but password is not displaying properly. It is showing a dotted form. So we will get to know about this in further sessions, or in the you can explore that. And below that, there is an option for phone number. There is an option for email ID, and then date of birth. So in short, a text view is a view which stores the textual data which you want to display. And edit text is a view which stores the input user input which we want to save in our user database, or which we want to use for further analysis. Other than that, there is a view called image view. Like as the name already says that it is a view which stores the image of the user. Like if you open your any social media account like in LinkedIn or anything, you will see some posts. Like your friend have posted something about a photo or there any internship opportunities. So whatever they post image, it displays in a view known as image view. An image view is a container which stores the image inside text. We can change the height, weight, and the size of the image based on our need, and we can modify the image as per our need, which will explain. We should learn in some further classes. After that, as I already said, there is an option called buttons. Like you must have seen these type of buttons in some of the apps. Like there's a download button, follow button on the Instagram, share button on some shopping platforms, Amazon, Flipkart. Then there is some warning button, add image option to upload your image, upload change your DP. So these are some examples about the views. These are the four views which you will use in most of the cases. So first is the text view, second is the edit text view, third is the image view, and the fourth is the button. So anyone have any query till now? So no questions.
Awesome.
Okay. So let's move on to next slide, which is a quiz. Like you all have um, learned like what are the views, what are the different type of views. So now it's time to know like you have to label what are these A, B, C, D. As you discussed in the first slide, like there are some views called text view, image buttons, edit text. So in the chat box, you have to answer like, what are these views? Or you can unmute yourself too.
Sir, D is button view, I suppose.
Okay.
B is image view.
Yes. Okay.
C is text view.
A is text
Uh,
view.
yes. And Gaurav, you are saying something?
I know three of them, I think.
Okay. Others can also
C
reply.
is header text.
Yes. C is
Text
edit
and
text. Yeah. Most of you have answered it correctly. A is a text view. B is an image view. C is an edit text. And D, I have not discussed about the image button, and that's why I've put this as a question. Like D can be an image, D can be a button with image placed on it, but in general, we consider this as image button, as discussed in the first slide. A picture which can perform click action are known as image button. So that's why. So D is an image button. So any questions in that?
No, bhaiya.
Okay. So let's move on to next slide. So whatever you want to design, like this complete design is scripted in a language known as XML. XML is just an textual language which has some syntax like other languages. Most of you have started the C or C++, which has some syntax called int main, curly braces. Then there is an include stdio or include iostream in the C++. So similarly, XML has some syntax, but it doesn't contain any header file or anything like that. Just you just have to be a little bit smart on writing how to write this command. So I'm explaining you. So in the XML syntax, whenever you want to write any view, like as discussed, this is a text view. So wherever you want to describe this text view, you have to first put an open braces, then write text view, and below that there are some attributes like we have defined as you can see in the image, the width of the hello bro is very short, which can take large size or small size depending on the text we are sending. So similarly, we can set the width of the text we are displaying as in the attribute called Android colon layout underscore width is equals to match pen. I will explain you everything like what is layout width, what is layout height, what is text and text size, everything in the later stages. So for now, you just remember that whenever you write an XML, you have to just open the you have to just write the open brace at the starting, then the name of the view, text view, then fill in the attributes placed in that view, and after that, don't forget to close this. Whenever you open any view, you have to close it after some time. Other than it, you will get an error. So you can open it and close it like that, or you can open this and close it after some time like that. You will get to know like why we need to do a separate type of closing like below, but below type in the later stages. We need to add some layouts, different type of views. So I will explain you everything in the later slide, but as of now, just remember whenever you write XML syntax, first you have to open that with open brace, then write the name of the view, write attributes, and after that you have to close it by this closing, or you can just close it after some time like that. So this is an example again. I am just showing you. Don't worry if you don't get anything like what is written here. Just listen to what I am trying to say. You have to open the bridge. You have to write the view group name or the view name. Like this is a linear layout. I will explain what is linear layout. Then after that, we have to close it. After closing, I am putting two children inside that. You will get to know about these things like what is children and why it is placed like that, not closed earlier. So just for now, just remember that you have to open this image view, you have to close that, open that, close that. And since you have opened the linear layout at the top, and you have to close that at the bottom. So this is similar to what we have done in the second part. You have to open this and just close this, and after doing some time you have to close it after the adding a children inside them. That's what you have done here. You have opened the linear layout, which is a view group, and after you have to return the attributes. Attribute just the functions or the features which we want to have in our views. So like we to decide the how much width or how much height our image view should have, what will the our image type. So that's what we are mentioning in the attribute section. After that, we are adding our two image views, just opening it and then closing it again, opening and then closing our text view. And after that, we are closing the linear layout. So that's it about the XML syntax. It's quite easy. Just you have to remember, you have to open and close, and open, close, and just close it after some time if you want to have add some views inside that. So that's it about the basics about the XML syntax. You will be very familiar with the XML syntax after you work on some apps or projects, and it might seem quite boring or just, you might not be able to understand it properly, but you will get to know about everything and after doing some practice. And then I will explain you some attributes, like whatever we are writing here, like what is Android layout width, Android layout height, and whatever it is. So let's discuss these things. Like these are called view attributes. So what as we already discussed, what are the views? Every view has some features. Attributes is similar to just a feature. Like whatever you want your view to have an additional feature. Like I want my image to have full screen. Like it should be complete full height, it should be complete full width, and it should display it properly on my mobile phone. So that's what we can do in the attribute section. And if I want to classify, like this is my image view or this is my button, and I want to add some ID to it, like as same as everyone of you has a unique roll number. Every view in your XML file should have a unique ID, so that you can refer that in later stage. Let's suppose you have a button, like your button, and which have ID like ID slash my button. So this is syntax where you have to write an ID by first writing at the rate plus ID slash and then the ID name. Like here the my ID name is my button. You will get to know about the what is the benefit of writing IDs by when you will do the programming part in the Android. Like you can change your photo by just clicking on one button. You can just fill the form by clicking on the button which have some ID. So you will get to know about this in later stages. So as of now, just remember like there is a feature called Android ID. And about after that, I am explaining like there are two features called height and width. So as I've already mentioned, like there is an option attribute called Android colon layout underscore width and Android colon layout underscore height. So what it actually do is it defines the height and width which our view should have. So in this case, in our Android image view, we can see that it has some height which is covering approx 60%, width which is 60% of the screen, and it has some height about 20 to 30%. Like I'm just giving a rough idea. So that's what we have defined, like what our image width and height should be. So that is done using the parameters called layout underscore width and layout underscore height. So based on our need, we have three features known as wrap content, match parent, and then just hard coded values. So first we'll discuss about what is wrap content. So it is a type of value which keeps our image or view height or weight to the content size. I guess it is not clear right now, so I'm explaining you like if our image has size similar to this and we are placing it as wrap content, then it will take the complete size. So as you can see here, our image, this image have very small size. So when we place it in a wrap content, it took very small size. And similarly, this image have large size. So when we put it as a wrap content, it took its complete size. So that's about the wrap content part. Wrap content just adjusts the height or width of the view according to the original size of the content. After that, there is an option called hide match parent, which you can see like this orange background. This orange background, which is behind this image view and text view, it is also in view group. It is also in background view, which has orange ground color, but it is taking a complete screen. So match parent is just take the complete screen. Like if you are placing match parent in layout width, then it will take complete width. And if you are placing the match parent in the layout height, then it will take the complete height of your parent. So similarly, here you can see this the orange color, the orange background is taking the complete width and complete height. So we can easily understand that the layout height and the layout width of the background will be match parent and match parent. And after that, there is an option for hard-coded values. Hard-coded values are just like we are just symbolizing like the image should be like in maths we define the length by centimeter and meter. Similarly, in the Android we define the dimensions by dp and sp. So what does dp is we will explain next slide. So just for now we can use that like dp is just a dimension which is used to define the height and width of the icon. Like in the bottom button, we can see that there is an image button which has some width and height. So we can limit the width and height of the icon by just like assume like 48 dp or 64 dp. So dp is just a dimension. Just like we have centimeter and meter in the math, kilometer, decameter. Similarly, we have dp in the Android Studio, in Android XML part. So where we can define the height and width of the view using the dp. So dp is just like let's suppose you are defining the height as 2 centimeters. So what 2 centimeter means? Like if you have a small phone which have very small screen, so it will take if you have a button which is considering like which has a width of 5 centimeter and a height of 5 centimeter. So in a smaller screen, it will take very large space. But if you open it in a tablet or a very large phone, then it will be very small. So we can't use centimeter or meter or inch in our day-to-day analysis for Android. So we defined a term called dp, which is known as density independent pixels. So if you write 2 dp by 2 dp, like if its width is 2 dp and if its height is 2 dp, so in the medium resolution devices, it will take size similar to this. It will take 2 by 2 pixel. In high resolution devices too, it will take large size. Not just if you are taking like if it is a 2 centimeter, similarly these blocks are 1 centimeter. Let's suppose these blocks are 1 centimeter. So if you are placing it as 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter, then in the high resolution device or extra high resolution device, you will see that the 2 by 2 will be very small. But in the medium, it will become very large. So to avoid this, we use a term called TP. So if you are using 2 dp by 2 dp in this medium device like this, then it will also take the same size in the high resolution devices and similarly same size in the extra high resolution devices. So that's the need of DP we used to define the height and width of our views, because the centimeter, inch, and pixel, the centimeter inch criteria will fail in our changing the resolution of devices and size of devices. So there are three ways: wrap content, which adjusts the height or width to the content size; match parent, which will adjust the height and width to the full size of the parent, like as we shown in seen in this picture. The orange background is taking the full size of the parent, so that's why it is using the match parent. And then there is a hard coded value called 120 dp, which can be seen that this image button may be carrying some height and weight according to our need, like it might be some 50 dp, 60 dp. So that's about the views height and width. So that's about the dp. Then all of you must be familiar with two terms called margin and padding. So there might be some, you might be feeling like this is completely going boring. So there's some theory part. After that, we will start our hands-on experience where we will create our own app, where we will design our own app. and we'll work on it. So before that, it's quite good to have some basics. So I will go through it as soon as possible. So there are two options called layout margin and padding. So we can add padding and layout margin to our views. Like if you guys don't know about the padding, like this is a content. If it is a text view, then padding will cover the text view boundary area and margin will exclude the text view and give spaces to our text view. So this is just about the theory about the what is called margin and what is called padding and what is difference between them. After that, we will explain some one attribute called gravity. So as you're already familiar with MS Word or MS Excel or PowerPoint, so all of us seen some term called alignment. So sometimes you have to align your text header in the middle, in the center. Sometimes you have to align your image in the middle, or you have to set in the center, on the left side, on the right side. So that's what we are doing in the gravity part. So there are two attributes called gravity and layout gravity. If any one of you have done CSS, then you can consider this gravity as text line and layout gravity as float. So if I want to keep my content like text left, if I want to keep my text on the left side, then I will put my gravity as left. If I want to keep my text on the center, then in horizontal way, then I will keep it as center horizontal. If I want to keep it on the right side, then right, and then center, then center. So we can change the attribute called Android colon gravity. And based on what we are putting as an input, we will get our alignment of the views placed inside the layer. And similarly, if I want to keep my whole text view on the center, like let's suppose these are some text views which we have created, which has some text called left, center, horizontal, right, center, and have background color green and blue. So if I want to keep my complete text view in the left side, on the center horizontal, on the right side or center, we can change the parameter called layout underscore gravity is equals to right or center or whatever as per our need. So that's it about the view attributes and what are the views. So in short, these are the XML syntax. So whenever you want to start writing XML, just remember that you have to open the braces, write the view name, and then close it by this, or just close after some time. Then there is a view identifier, which can be like, which is just an ID for the view. Then there are some parameters called width and height, which we can consider it as wrap content, match parent, or the fixed size in the hard-coded value. Then we can study like what is DP, density independent pixel. Like in different resolutions of device, we must have the same size of our icon, of our button, of our image. So that's why we use a term called density independent pixel. After that, yeah, any doubt? Someone unmuted. Okay, no doubt, I guess. So yeah, we discussed about what is margin and what is padding, and then there are some called gravity. Like we have to align our text or views, then we can use the gravity or layout gravity option. You will get to will be very familiar with that when you start doing your own Android app and XML designing, which we will do in the later section. So till now, there is an there are some other attributes too, which can be described as like view attributes. Like if you want to have some background color, so you can change the background color by Android colon background, Android color hint to have some text values, Android color text to set some text values. Then there is an option called text color, text size, and text style, which you can see in the bottom phase. Like there are some examples like how to use the text and how to use the layout width and layout height. So now I guess anyone have any doubt? Any questions? Okay, I guess then we can move on to the view group part. And after doing the view group, we will start our creating our first Android app. And we will first design our app in the Android Studio. And I hope most of you have installed and set up your Android Studio properly. So no problem if you have not. We are just recording this session. You can do and work with your Android Studio in the later part. So yeah, next coming to a view group. A view, as we've already discussed, a view as a container. So if we want to have many containers inside a container, like if we want to have a group of students inside a classroom, so then the students are considered as a view or children, and the classroom will be considered as a view group. A view group is also a container which contains many views, other views, which are known as children. So as already stated, like in a classroom, the students are the views and the classroom is a view group. Similarly, in Android, the whatever you want to add in our as a collection, like if you want to have some image and text inside a container, then image and text view will be considered as a children and the container will be our view group. And we can define containers in many types, and two of them will be linear layout and relative layout. I will explain each of them in the later slides. So linear layout is simple, like you can easily understand from the name itself. Like it is a type of layout where the views are arranged in a linear fashion. Either all the views will be in the horizontal phase or in the vertical phase. On the left side, we have horizontal views like child A, B, and C. This can be your text view. Like let's suppose the first block has name Ram, then second block has name Shyam, and then there is third block names like Sandeep. So this can be arranged as an horizontal view where we are placing a text view, then next text view, and next text view, and so on till we have space in our mobile screen. If we will add another text view, then half of them will be displayed and other rest half of them will be dismissed. So that's about the horizontal view. And about the vertical view, we can align the children's or the text views or the image views in vertical fashion. Like if we have name like here Ram, then it, second is a Shyam, and then there is third is a Sandeep. So we can align both of them in one by one in the uh, top to bottom fashion. So first child, second child, and third child. And there is a relative layout. I will explain it in the later stage. So first we will consider like what is linear layout, and there is an attribute known as Android colon orientation. So this is an attribute which is used to explain the Android, like what orientation we want to have our linear layout. Like if we are placing it as horizontal, then each child will be stored as in the horizontal fashion as in the left side view. And if you are placing it as an vertical, then it will store the child in the column manner, like first child, second child, and then third child. And if we don't put anything, then it will store as an horizontal view. But it is recommended to use the attribute to explain like what type of orientation we want to have in our app. After that, I'm just showing you two examples, like what is horizontal view, horizontal linear layout, and what is vertical linear layout. So yeah, so as I explained already, like first of all, you all must remember that this is an just like similar to your C++ have an include tag like has include iostream, or in C you have an header called has include stdio.h. Similarly, XML in Android has a syntax has a header file which you all have to consider while writing the XML. Like it is opening bracket, open brace, question mark XML version 1.1, 1.0, encoding also UTF -8 question mark close. So this is an header file which all of you have to mention before writing the XML. After that, as I already explained, like whenever you want to add anything like any view group, you have to just open this, then write the view group name, view or view group name. So I will just call it view because every linear layout is also a view. So I'm just opening it. I'm placing the name linear layout. After that, this is also a line which will be used by the Android for importing the all the features like width and height. So you don't need to remember this. You have to just copy paste whenever you need. After that, I'm mentioning the width and height of my linear layout. Now I'm considering the whole screen. This is my whole mobile screen as as an parent. So I'm taking the complete linear view has match parent and match parent height and match parent width. So my layout will take complete size. After that, I mentioned the orientation as horizontal. So as I already said, that you need sometimes to close the tag after some time. So yes, in the view group part, only in the view group part, you will have to close the tag after some time. Such as like if you want to add some child, like if I want to add some child like that, then I have to enclose them in this container, which is called linear layout. So in this container, I am storing three of the child. So in this container, I am storing two of the child. Like in the figure, it is two child. I'm wrapping these two child, and after that, I have to wrap it off. So after that, I have to close this. So what it will do is it will create a linear layout of full width and full height. And in the full width, it will assign two buttons with wrapped content position. Like it will take whatever size it want, like whatever it is the need. So I'm just writing the text called red color button. It is like this, and I'm mentioning the size of the text as a text size. As I already explained in the attribute part, we can define the size of our attribute by Android colon text size as 20 sp. Sp is also same as dp, which is also in dimension um, used to set the size of our text. And I'm placing padding of 20 dp so that our text should have some red color outside that, so that we can even easily see what is the text written on it. And similarly, in the button, I'm writing one more button which is having a background color. This is an hexagon color. You can check this is for a green color. So in the green color background, I am writing a text called green color button, which is displayed here as green color button. And after that, I am writing a text size of 20 sp so that both of them have a text size of 20 sp. And the width and height of this text view are wrap content. So whatever is the text size and plus padding is the height and width which will be wrapped by the uh, views. Anyone have any query or any doubt?
भैया हम लोग इसको कोड कहाँ पे कर सकते हैं? जैसे मतलब एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो पे कोड कर सकते हैं सेम चीज को?
I will explain everything. Like I have taken one quiz question. I will create this UI in front of you in the Android Studio, and I will show you like how you have to code this and how to start the Android Studio part. So before that, I'm just explaining you the theory part.
ओके भैया.
Sir,
Any? Yes, sir, Swardhan.
sir, this wrap content, sir, it arranges the width and height according to what is written inside, such as the red color
Yes,
button. So
yes,
if
yes.
we
It
write
will.
a long text,
Hmm.
very long text, so it will arranges the width and height of that red color according to the text that is written.
Yes, yes, yes. It will take the size according to whatever we are writing inside that. If we will write the red button text, like if we are writing complete very big text, then it might take full screen, and some of the text might not be visible too. I will show that when I will start the Android Studio part, and I will show you like how these things will overflow and whatever. So you can wait for that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I'm just doing the last theory part lecture, and then I will show you how to create this view inside your application, and you can even run your application in mobile, where you will see these buttons. So this is again in linear layout. Now, in last time we have seen that their orientation was horizontal, and now the orientation is vertical. So now we have modified the orientation from horizontal to vertical. So the view groups like the buttons are now placed in vertical manner, and then there's again a button. Now I'm taking the width as match parent so that we can have a complete width. And here we have used the rep content, but still I'm using the height as rep content so that it can take only the required amount of height. And again, I'm using a background which has a red color and which has an hexa value like this, and green color which has hex value this, and some padding so that our text must have some space outside that so that we can see the green color, and then some text size. So if you guys don't have any query, we can move to the demonstration part. Like I will explain you how to use the Android Studio or how to design everything in the Android Studio part. So can we proceed?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I'm sharing and stop sharing. I'm sharing my complete window. Yeah, I guess my window is shared. So now what I will do is I will just open the Android Studio. My complete window is shared now, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when you open your Android Studio for the first time, you will see a window like this. So where you have to open you have to click on the new project option. In the new project, you have to click on the project and tablet part because we will be creating our app for phones and tablets. Sorry, phones. And below that, you will see an option called empty activity. So there are many activities which has some basic features inbuilt. So you will get to know about this in the after doing some Android development. But for now, you just click on the empty activity, click next. So here you have to enter the name of your app. So I am taking my app name as Intro Android app. So what it will do is when I install my app in my mobile phone, it will have a name called Intro Android Space App, and there is a thing called package name. So package name is nothing just a unique ID to your application. So whatever app you install in your mobile has some ID attached to it, like which is known as package name. So every app has unique package name. So similarly, I am just writing like we can write anything like it must be your company name or something, but we don't have any company right now. So I'm just writing it com.example dot intro Android app. It might be same. It might be same in your device too. Complete example, and then some text with respect to your app name. Then there's some location and Java. So we don't need to use any program language right now. So we will move on with this. And minimum API will be 21, and it is showing that our app will be compatible on 98.8% of device. So that's it. We have to just click on the finish button. After finishing, guys, please mute yourself if you don't have any question. Yeah. So after finishing, it will take some time. At the bottom, you can see the scanning file to index and just checking the new version, something like that. It will take few minutes for you to build based on your CPU processor. Then just you have to wait for the to complete. And as I am going to explain you, like I will show you how to create this layout in your Android Studio. And I will even run this app in my mobile so that you can see like how these apps are installed and how these things are created. So we will just wait for a few minutes. So can anyone answer like what are the layout orientation we are using in this quiz? Can anyone answer? Like what would be its orientation? Horizontal or vertical?
Article.
Can you repeat the question?
Like what will be the orientation of this linear layout? Like we are arranging these buttons in some linear manner. So whether it will be in horizontal orientation or vertical orientation.
Article. Vertical.
Yes, that's it. So we will arrange that. So we have to wait for a few minutes so the Gradle can build completely. You all have to be very patient while doing any development because it might take few minutes, few seconds, few hours to complete. So yeah, it's almost completed. So in this, when you open the Android Studio, you can see there is an option called main-activity.java. It is the part where you have to write your program code. Like you can define everything, like what are your views, what are your buttons, and in just programming, like and just write the commands, like what will happen when you click on the image, and that's it. So that's all about the that's all contained about the programming part. And on the left side, you can see there is an option called activity underscore main.xml. So this is your initial activity, which you will see when you install the app in your phone. So as I already said, this is your XML file where the XML version 1.1 encoding UTF-8 is already written. And about that, there is an okay. So I will clear everything. So Android Studio is showing me error that there is no tool tag, root tag. So we will write everything by the scratch. So what I'm going to do is I will draw this layout in my device where I have four buttons called button 1, button 2, button 3, and button 4, which have some different colors arranged in a linear layout. And I will show you like how to do this thing. So as I already stated in this, so after writing this header, I have to start my view group. Like I am using a linear layout, I will start writing open brace, then linear layout. So it's very easy because most of the time it will show me like it will completely give me hint like what I want to use. Like it is showing me linear layout. So I'm just writing this. After that, I will use XML Android, which is already visible, which will be already copied when you start writing. And after that, I have to write I have to write the layout width. So if I have to write, as you can see that when you write layout width, it is showing that it is required. So whenever you write about any view, the width and height of the view is already always required. And it is also showing error that you can even pop up on this and it will show you error that layout width and height is not defined. So I am just writing the width as match parent. After that, I am showing you like layout height, layout height. There are many features. You can even scroll and see that there are many attributes you can use based on your need. So I'm using the layout height and I'm using it as match parent. So as you can see that when I click the match parent on the right side, the blue line moves to a bottom. Like it is showing that it is taking the full screen. In the design section, you can see that if I use this, and then after I am using an orientation known as vertical. So now I am closing this. So what I want to do is I want to have these buttons inside my linear layout of this. So this is my linear layout, which is taking complete screen size here, and I want to add some buttons inside that. So what I will do is I will open the brace, I will write button again. If I already click on it, there will two option will be created by default to write the match width and height. So I'm writing the height and width again. So by default, its color is blue. You can change this. Then after I want to have some text written on it. So I will write Android colon text is equals to button 1. Yes, similar to button 1, it has to be in caps. So button 1. Then I want to add, I would like to add some padding because the button has some padding, extra spaces above and bottom. So I will write some Android colon padding is equals to. So whatever you want to write, whether it is integer or it is number or some any string or anything, you have to use this bracket, yeah, inverted commas. You have to use this commas and place details inside that. Like if I want to add some padding of 20 dp, I'm writing Android colon padding is equals to 20 dp. So now after that, I will change the color of this. As you can see, the color of the button can be changed by the attribute called Android colon background. So Android colon background is equals to, now I have to check what is the value of my color. So for that, I will open my Chrome and check. Okay, you can even check this W3 website code, where you can see the color code of every color. Like if I want to have some green color, dark green, then it has some hex value of has 006400. I will share this in the mail with the PPT attached, and you can check everything on that. So I am just placing the color like this. So let's suppose this not as this, consider this as button, not text view. We are placing this as button one as a text view. So this, and I guess color is not so good. So you can even change the color by just clicking here and then moving the cursor or whatever color you want. So let's suppose this is our, okay. Then I'm just setting the size of Android colon text size is equals to, let's suppose I'm taking it as 16 sp. It's not that big. So I'm taking 20 sp. You can even change 24, 26, 29 and anything. So for now, I'm just taking it as 24 sp. And now I want my button one to be in the middle. So as we discussed in the grouping gravity part, if I have to keep my text in the center, I have to use an attribute called gravity. So I will use the attribute called gravity, and then I will write center. So now you can see on the right side, there is a button, which button one named text view, which has green color and a text of size 24 sp, background of green color, padding of 20 dp, having a width of match parent and height of wrap parent. Now at the bottom you can see that there is an error because tag start is not closed. So you can even close like this by placing this and then brace at the end, as we have already discussed. Or you can even close like this, and the Android will automatically close this for you. So whatever you want. After that, if you want to have another button, so we can again do the same task. You can just create, oh sorry, you can just create text view, again a width as match parent, height as wrap content, Android colon text is equals to button 2, and again padding, Android padding as 20 dp, Android background as, so now I have to use the color called color of yellow color. So what I will do is I will just search for yellow color here, and I will see that this is in similar color. So I will use this. I will copy paste this. Yes. I will now Android space colon text size. I will keep text size again as 24 sp, and I will place this in center by using the Android gravity, and then close the tag. So you can see that there are two buttons, button 1 and button 2, one below the other, having the same features, different background color. And after closing, we can see two buttons are placed in vertical fashion. And if I will change this to horizontal, and since it is taking the whole size, so I will keep this as wrap content. And after placing it in horizontal, you can see that two buttons are placed in horizontal manner. And if I keep both of them in wrap content, then you can see that both of the buttons are taking the width according to their need. And if I will remove this padding, you will see that the button is shrink to very small size, to the size which the text is taking. So as someone already asked, like, what if I will increase the length of the text? So let's suppose I am writing anything in the screen, and after some time you will see that the whole text view is taking the complete width. and my second view called button 2 is invisible now because this button has taken the complete width. So let's erase this and let's move to our task, which is vertical. The same picture, and now you can see that the button 2 is not capital, but button 1 is capital. So for that, there is also an attribute called Android colon all caps. And if you enable this, so but as true, then whatever text you are writing inside the text view will be capitalized by default. So you don't need to have some extra A or B in the small or capital letter. You just need to enable this text all caps as true in the attribute, and after that it will be automatically in capital letters. So again, I am just writing the text view the same as above. The width will be again match parent. The height will be wrap content based on need. Android colon text is equals to button 3. That's the button 3. Android colon padding is equals to 20 dp. Android colon background is equals to. So now our color is blue. So I will check what is the color code of blue. So it is similar to this. Okay. I'll paste the color. Okay, I guess not so good. Let's use this color. Yes. Then I will increase the text size of my view as 24 sp. Then I will add the gravity so that our view will be in the center position. And yeah, that's it. Similarly, you can even add more and more views. As our task was to design the 4 views, I'm just copy pasting the view again. Copy and then just paste. I'm changing the color as pink by clicking on this button. You can change the color by just clicking on this button after placing one color, and here you can just navigate to whatever kind of color you want by changing this and just select whatever you want. Like I'm just keeping this as pink in this form. So yeah, that's how our buttons layout is created. So I'm explaining everything again, whatever I've written. So first of all, this is a view group linear layout, which is taking the complete this shape. Like if I will changes the wrap content, then you can see that the blue color bar has changed from this from bottom to up. And if I change to match plane, then it moves from top to bottom. So now the view group linear layout is taking the complete height and complete width of the parent of the mobile phone. After that, I have added a text view, which is taking complete match parent size. As you can see, the blue color box is representing the text view, is taking the complete width and is showing the rectangle, which we have mentioned earlier. So this text view is taking the complete width and height according to our text view and plus padding. Then background color of green, text size of 24, and having text in center with gravity equal to center. Similarly, in the second view, it is also taking the complete view, complete width with width equals to match parent, height equals to wrap content, text button 2, padding 20 dp, and text all caps so that we can have a feature to capsule all the text without even writing the text in caps. Then text size and gravity, and similarly for button 3 and 4. So till now, any one of you have any doubt? Yes, someone. Harshvardhan, do you have any doubt?
Sir, is this case sensitive? All these
Yes, yes,
buttons?
yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is case sensitive. Like if you write gravity like this, then it will not work. It is showing like unknown attribute and dot gravity. So everything you are writing is completely case sensitive. Got it? Any other doubt?
Where can we see the output of our code?
Yes, this you can even whatever you're writing in the XML, you can see this in the right side of the view. And after that, you can even install the app in your mobile phone and just see your output. Like on the top of the on the top, you can see there is an option called Pixel. Like I am using an emulator, so you can install your app by just clicking on this emulator and then run button. This will just run this app in your emulator. So actually, I have some issue. Okay. Sorry, just this is just my Android Studio issue. You will not face this. There's some issue. You guys will not face this issue. It's just my personal laptop issue. Okay. After you can see that when I click on this Pixel Run button, an emulator will start running. Like Creator Build is running, and your app will be installed in an emulator. Emulator is nothing just an virtual device in which you can see your output. So if you have installed the emulator in your Android Studio, you can just click on the emulator, select the emulator, and then click the run button, green button. It will show like Gator build is running, and after some time, it will show your app and the output. And if you have just XML design, you can see in the design section by writing the XML. So you can just click on this design tab or split tab, and in the design tab, you can see that what your layout will look like. So this will look like this. Due to not found. Okay, I will install this in my phone. Yes.
Sir, so in my PC, the split and the design tabs, they are still loading. They are not
Yeah,
showing
Android
output.
Studio. They're still loading. Yeah. Did you completed the code, like the XML design code? Like, did you write the code
Linear
like
layout को
what are?
close करना है.
Yes, you have to close this at the bottom, no?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So if you don't close this, you will see an error like unexpected end of file. You have to close the layout which you have opened, and you can even see this. There is one error and forewarning. So I am just closing, and the error has gone. And forewarning is just because of my text, and just so no need to worry. In the split and design tab, you can see the output. And since you have enabled the developers option in your mobile phone, so you can just connect your mobile phone by USB to your PC and click on this file transfer button. So I'm just showing you by installing this in my mobile. So when you use your USB, you just click on the file transfer button. Yeah, and now it's connected. After connected, you will see your mobile name. Like my mobile name is Xiaomi Redmi 8. So I will just click on my mobile name, then click on the run button. So what this will do is it will just create and install your app inside your phone. So in Redmi phones, it will always ask you to allow. So I'm just remember my device and install button. After that, it is showing install. It will install my app in the mobile phone. And now you can see that my app name, Intro Android app, is displayed at the top. And there are 4 text views named button 1, button 2, button 3, and button 4. Is it clear, guys?
यस भैया. भैया आप ये कोड शेयर कर देंगे मेल
USB
में
वाला
जब.
एक बार
Yeah,
और
yeah,
बताना कैसे करना है.
yeah. Just a minute. I will share the whole code with you by in the GitHub and in the PPT itself. So you don't need to worry about that. And yeah, someone is asking something. कोई कुछ तो पूछ रहा था ना, क्या एक्सप्लेन कर दो दोबारा.
USB debugging से मोबाइल पे ऐप वो दोबारा बताना.
developer your developer mode is on or not?
It is on.
Yes, it's on now. So when you just use your USB to connect your PC to mobile phone, and after connecting, you will see your mobile name. If you have set up your Android Studio properly, your mobile name will pop up here. Are you able to see your mobile name?
No, sir.
Huh? Sorry, can you repeat?
No, sir. Sir, I have connected my mobile via USB and allowed USB debugging, but it is still not showing in my.
Okay. So are you getting any available emulator too? Like is there an option to for emulator? Then I guess your AVD manager is not set up properly. Your Android Studio needs to have some AVD manager, like it's in device manager here. So where you have to create AVD manager, which you have to set up properly, Android SDK. So I guess your Android Studio is not set up properly. So for now, you can just view your design code in the design or split option, like what is your output file. It is same as what you will see in your mobile phone. No difference.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And after the session, you can just set up your Android properly. And if you face any doubt, you can ask in the our community channels, in any channel, in general or Android discussion. Other than if any other than that, any more doubt or query? Okay, so can we proceed? Guys, can we proceed, or you have any query or doubt?
Yes, Bhaiya, we can proceed.
Yes, sir, proceed.
Okay, okay. So till now you have seen that in my phone. So I sharing my screen. Like you have seen that this button one, button two, three, and four is taking the space required to them. Like if I will put the height as, let's suppose 200 dp, so it is taking complete very big size. So let's suppose I am putting everyone as 200 dp, 200 dp, and 200 dp. Now you can see that the bottom part, the bottom four, is not taking the space as required, and its half part is cut. So let's suppose if I'm increasing to 250 dp for everyone, 250 dp, 250 dp, and 250 dp, and you can even see that my button 4 is invisible. So how to manage this? Like we don't want to get our button dismissed. So for that, what we will do is we will just first move to wrap content, and after that, we will see that there is an option called layout weighting. So layout weight is just a feature which will allow like what is the weightage. Like you all have semester pattern, like mid-sem has 50, 30% weightage, and some exams have 50% weightage, your quizzes will have something weightage, and so on. Similarly, we will give every child some weight. Like if I want my button 1 to take 50% of the screen and button 2, 3, 4 to others, then I will allow my button 1 to have 50% space and button 2, 3, 4 as wrap content. Similarly, if I want my button 2 to have 20% of the space, then I will allow my button 2 to have 20% space and button 1, 3, 4 as a wrap content. Or similarly, we can use like button 1 is 50%, button 2 is 20%, and rest 30% for button 3 and 4. So for that, what I will do is, whenever we want to define the weight, then we have to use an attribute called Android colon layout weight. So it is an integer. So if I will write this one, then I have to write my weight height as 0 dp. So I'm writing my height as 0 dp, and I'm considering this as unit weight. So what it will do is um, it will adjust both all of the views like button 2, 3, and 4, and the left area will be used for button 1. Just 1 minute, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I will explain like layout weight. So if I am putting layout weight as 1, then it will take complete size. Like if I remove this button, then it will take complete size as of the linear layout. So okay, so before that I have to give you some code. So I'm just saving this in my GitHub. And just a minute, guys. Okay. So I will share the complete code with all of you. So linear layout without weight dot XML. Yeah. So yes, I have done without this. Okay. So next I am just okay. So I'm again going to give this height as 0 dp. So after doing the height as 0 dp, my button one is invisible, and then I will give it a weight for Android colon layout weight as 1. So it will try to take as much weight as it can. It will try to take 100% of weight, but there are other views for button 2 and
भाई सब सही सोचा है भाई देखो सवाल देगा अरे सिंपल सवाल है देखा माइक अपने आप अनम्यूट हो जा रहा है पता नहीं कैसे कुछ
okay, fine, wait for you. Okay, yeah, so that's what I have to do. Like, if I writing layout weight as 1, then the button will take as much height as it can because it is an horizontal layout. So it will take height according to the layout. Like if it will be an horizontal layout, horizontal orientation, then I can change the width of the layout based on the weight. So I will explain this in later. So that's it. Like if I'm putting layout width as 1, then the button 1 will try to occupy as much space as it can, and the rest layout will take other size. So now I will change button 2 as same as 0 dp and weight as 2. So now my button 1 is taking some space and button 2 is taking double of the space because it has double weightage. And the rest we use button 3 and button 4 are taking very few space as per our requirement based on wrap content. So similarly, if I will do for button 3, I will write this as this and weight as 1. So now button 1 and button 1, button 3 are taking same space with the layout weight 1 with weightage of 1, and the button 2 is taking double of the height as of button 1 and 3 because its layout weight is 2. But still button 4 is taking the wrap content. So now you can see that my complete screen is filled. There is no white space left in the background, and my complete screen is filled. So now in the fourth, if I want to add some weight to this, like if I want to add 4, so now the button 1 and 3 has weight 1, button 2 has weight 2, and button 4 has weight 4. So that's how our layout will change based on our weight as needed. So we can change the height of our layout based on our layout weight. So I'm just writing one comment here. I guess we can't. We have to write here. Sorry, writing one layout, linear layout with vertical orientation and weight. I'm just writing this comment so that you can get to know like what we are doing when you refer the GitHub gist file. So that's it about the weight in the vertical orientation. I'm just saving this in my GitHub gist, and now I will explain you like how this thing will vary when I will change my orientation to horizontal. So in horizontal, we know that the childs will occupy the space in the horizontal row manner. So the height of the object will be the width of the child will vary based on the layout. Like uh, first, I am switching this to horizontal, and we have to keep height as wrap content for everyone because so let's move to first stage. Like let's remove everything. Let's move to initial stage. Like it should be this. and it should be a web content. Web content. Yeah. So now you can see that the button 1 and 2 has taken some space. Button 3 is able to fit, but its height is varied, and button 4 is invisible. So for that, in the horizontal view, what we will do is we will assign each of the button as some weightage width. Since it is an horizontal layout, so we will vary the width according to our weight. So I will just keep my width as 0 dp and its weight as 1. So yes, so after that I will keep everything as again as 0 dp and weight as 1. So now you can see that the two of the button is taking the weight as 1 1. Since the wrap content needs great large amount of space, that's why we are not able to see that button 1 and 2 are trying to occupy the complete. So after completing everything, you will see that yes, button 1, button 3, and similarly here. So now you can see that the all of the button have taken equal amount of size based on their needs. Like button 1, button 2, button 3, and button 4 all have equal weight because of same layout weight. Now if I increase the button 4 weight as 2, then the button 4 weight will be double as the 1, 2, and 3. Similarly, if I will change the button 2 as 2, then the button 2 and button 4 will have double weight as per as per button 1 and button 3. So that's how we can even fill the complete horizontal view of the linear layout, and no view will be excluded from that, and there will be no white space on the horizontal view part. But in the vertical direction, it may go beyond because of text we have written, but it will not create any white space on the horizontal side or on the, and it will not exclude any other view. So any question till now? Any question on like what is about layout weight or any query about that?
No, sir.
So let's move on to next part. Okay, so this is about the layout weight. I have written about everything like this, and this was our quiz we have done. And after that, I will explain you what is called relative layout. So till now, we have realized what is a linear layout, where the childs are organized in linear manner and in the horizontal way or in the vertical way. Similarly, there is a layout called relative layout, where the childs can be placed in some relative manner. Like it might be relative to the parent. Like in my phone, I want my blue color to top left text on the left side and the top corner. So I'm putting it here, and again a blue text view where top right text and on the right side and top of this. So in the top, it will be placed here. So if I want to create my views in some relative fashion, like I want my center text view in the center of the screen, then I will place it at here. I want my blue text view, which is taking complete match parent width and wrap content height at the bottom of the screen, then I will put it at bottom. So these things can be done using the relative layout and not by the linear layout. So both of them have their pros and cons. Like you can easily lay out the views or the child properly by just using the relative layout, and like at the bottom, at top, and the right hand. And if we want to have some linear fashion, then we can use linear layout in the horizontal or vertical direction. So let's start about the relative layout. Like as I already said, this is a parent which can be our mobile or which can be your linear layout or any other layout view. And inside that, there are some views which are known as children, like these things, like top left, top child, text view. These all are the text views and which is referred as children. So we can see that there are some attributes which are related to position with respect to parent. So like you can see this top left box is placed on the top side of the mobile phone and on the left corner. So we can use some attributes, and based on the true and false value, we can set these views inside our containers. So, and similarly, there is a box called top middle, which is placed on top side in the middle of the screen, and similarly a top right, which is placed on top side in the top right of the screen, my parent, and similarly a center block, which is placed on the center of my phone, then right block, which is placed on the right side, left block on the left side, and bottom of the screen on the bottom side. So I will give some examples like for the top right, like if I want to adjust this block, then I will write this type of code like Android layout parent bottom fold. You don't need to write everything, like you just need to write about the true statements. Like since my top right corner is placed on top side, so I will create like I will set my Android colon layout align parent top true. So what it will do is it will move my this block to the top of the screen, and after that, if I want to keep in the end at the end of my parent, then I will set its align parent end as true. So it will move this block to the end of my screen. So let's start doing this in the Android Studio itself. I'm just deleting everything. So as you know, we are starting the relative layout. So when we open the Android Studio in the XML file, we have to start with the relative layout. You have to write relative layout. After that, you have to mention the Android XML, which you can easily do by just when you start writing relative layout, you have to just enter and it will exclude everything. You have to just enter and then you have to add Android. Okay. So let's write it completely from the scratch itself. No, it's not going to be okay. Relative layout. After that, we will use add our Android. Then we will add layout width to our this as match parent. Then Android layout. Okay, height. If we want layout underscore height as match parent. So it will occupy the complete space. Like if I show you by using the background as black, you can see that the whole relative layout is using the whole background. And if I remove it to wrap content, it will take the space which is required for that. Like initially we don't have anything, so it is taking the 0 size. And if I move this to match parent, it will take the complete screen in the black color. So I'm just removing this black color. And similar to linear layout, there is no orientation tab. So we have to just close this. And inside that, I'm just placing one of my children. I'm just using one of my children to explain you what is happening. So I'm just using a text view, which has a layout width as wrap contain Android. Oh, sorry. Layout underscore height as wrap content. I'm just treating the text as hello world. Now you can see that my text is written at the top left corner. So whenever you start writing anything in the relative layout, it's by default is placed at top left corner of the screen. Now I will just set the text size so that we can even see the text. Like I'm using the 24 SP. Okay. Now I will use the text size of the text color. It should be black. So you can use the command color text code, which is 00004 black color. After that, I will use the gravity tab so that we can have this text in the center, but it is taking the wrap content, so it will not work. Let's add some padding and background color 20 dp and background color. So let's suppose we are adding a background color called this. So yes, so this is our text view placed inside the relative layout. As I already said, it's by default placed at the top left corner. Now assume I want my text view to be placed at top right corner like this place. So for that, what I will do is I will keep my parent end and parent top as two. Like this is a top view, this is a bottom view. This is our start and this is our end. So if I want my object to be placed not here, rather than I want to move my object from here to there, I want to keep it as in the top screen and at the end. So I will do what I will do is Android save layout underscore parent top. Align parent top is true, so that it will be at the top of the screen. After that, I will do is layout underscore align parent end. So now it will move to the left side, right side of the screen. So you can see that my layout child has moved to the top left right corner of the screen. As you can see that here, since Android layout parent end is equals to because of this end value, the layout has moved to the end of the screen. And if I set it as false, then it will come back to its original position. And you don't need to write anything about the false statement. Now, suppose if I want to add this as not at the top but at the bottom. So what I will do is allow Android layout align parent bottom. So what it will do is it will move my text view from top to bottom screen. And if I change this as match parent, then it will take the complete bottom screen, which is not required here. After that, what I will do is I will just move this block to the center. So like, or let's suppose first we move to the right of the corner. So what we'll do is Android layout underscore align parent end as true. So now you can see that my hello world text is moved to the top, bottom right corner of the screen. Yeah, it is completely visible now. So it is moved from the at the bottom right corner. Now after that, you can easily see that if I want to add in the top middle, I have to keep my align parent top as true and align center horizontal. So what are these center and parent, center horizontal, center vertical? So if I want to keep my view between the center to the horizontal, then I will keep my center horizontal attribute as true. So let's start this like if I want to do is Android layout center horizontal true. So what it will do is it will keep my layout in the midway to the horizontal. And similarly, if I do it layout center vertical, it will keep my layout in the middle of the screen. Like since it is a web content, it is not taking. Now, if I want to keep it as mesh parent, so it will keep my view in the center. Oh, sorry. Uh, yes. Now, since I have moved this to bottom, so we are not able to center it. So if I keep my layout center vertical as true, then it will keep my view in the center according to vertical. You can see that there is an constraint which is set to our view, which is keeping our layout in the center vertical position. So let's suppose I'm creating this as top middle. So what I will do is I will just set to it to have some parent top position as true. So now it will be locked at top position. And after that, I will do it. I will move it in the center horizontal direction as true. So it will be at the top and in the middle according to the horizontal direction. So align parent top is true and layout center horizontal is true. So that's what I have written here. Like if I want to keep this in the top middle, I will keep my align parent top as true and center horizontal as true. Similarly for the bottom and center, I have already shown this. So till now, anyone have any question?
No, sir.
No question? Are you guys getting what I'm trying to say and trying to explain?
Yes,
Okay. So that's all. Like you can I already showed like what you have to do for top right, top middle, bottom screen, and the center. In the center, you don't need to add anything about the parent and start top. You just need to set the center in parent property as true. Let me show you. Like if I erase everything and then write layout center in parent as true, then it will be moved to the center of my screen with constraint locked from both the horizontal end and the vertical end, and it will not be moved from anywhere. So that's what you can do with the center printer. So yeah, that's it. If we want to set the position relative to my uh, position relative to my parent, that's it. I've explained like how to set for top left, top right, top middle, at the bottom of the screen, and for the center. Now we can even set the views with respect to other views. Like if I want to have a text view called J at the center, and I want some text on the right side, on the left side, on the top or bottom, then we can use the properties called Android layout above, below, align start, and align end. So that's what I am going to explain now. So first of all, can anyone answer like what will be the attributes for J? Can anyone of you unmute and answer?
Middle,
Yes.
parent in middle,
Yeah. So we will set center in parent as true, and will we set any other parameters or attributes? Like, is there any need to set any other parent attribute? Yes, actually, we don't need to set any other parents. Like I am showing you, like for J, we can just set center in parent as true. Like as we discussed here, we have to just set Android colon layout center in parent as true. So our hello world will be set in the center of the screen, and we don't need to do anything about other. So for B, like we have to just align it at the end of this. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, so I will explain. I already explained you that there is an identifier which is known as ID. So whenever we write any text view, we will add its ID. Like it should be a unique. So I will write Android ID, and you can see that there is an annotation. So when you write this, you can see this is option. So first let me write. Next I will explain. Like so now what I have done is I have a text view which has a text called hello world, which is placed in the center, which has wrap content height and weight, and it has an ID called hello world. So if I want to refer to this block, like if I want to place and a text view on the right side, so what I will do is I will create a text view and command it, yes, move to the right side of the hello world ID. And if I want to keep a text view on the left side of hello world, then I will give command to my text view like move this block to the left side of the hello world ID. So I'm explaining you like, so let's suppose I'm creating a new view, new text view with wrap content and text as, okay, text as hello world 2, which has a padding of let's suppose 20 dp, text color 00000. You will be get very familiar with all of these XML code, and you will able to write this code in very fast way when you will be familiar and just doing the stuff by your own. So I guess I have to change the background color from white to red. Suppose, okay, yes. So what I can do is like similarly, as we did in the previous text view, we can again move this to any corner by using this Android around layout around parent bottom is true. It will move this. We can move that like that, or we can move this like if I want to move this to the right side, like same as B. If I want to move this B on the right side of G, what I will do is I will use the command called Android colon layout align end. So it will align my this hello world to, or let's suppose this is red text. It will move my red text view to the right end of the hello world. And is just the right side. So I will write Android colon layout align end and then it will ask for ID. So now I will write my ID as and that ID slash hello world. So it is placing my ID, it is placing my block at the end of the hello world screen. but still it is not in the middle. So what I will do is I will keep it in the middle by Android layout center in parent as true. Yes. So it will move this to the end of the it will match the end of this red text and the hello world text. But we don't want to keep this inside the hello world. So we will, instead of using the align end, we will use the command write off. So what write off will do is it will move our text view to the right side of the hello world. So if I zoom in the design section, you can see that both of the hello world and red text have a joint boundary, a single common boundary, and the red text is placed on the right side of the screen. Similarly, if I will set this as layout underscore to left of, then it will move my red text to the left side of the screen, as you can see on the screen, like that. Similarly, I can use that layout underscore top of line top. So it will match this to the top of this, or we can use the command above, which will move this red text above the hello world. So hello world is in block and the red text is placed above, which is written here, like it is written here. It is placed above the hello world ID. And similarly, it, as I already said, that all the IDs has to be unique. If you give ID to this attribute, you can't give the same ID as hello world, because it will give you an error, duplicate ID. So you can just give it any other ID, red text or any other ID, whatever you want. And that's it. Like similarly, you can use the layout underscore below attribute and it will place the red text below the hello world. And if you want to have some gap between them, you can use the property called Android margin less 10 dp. There will be a gap of 10 dp between the view, which you can see in the design section. Yeah, so there is a 10 dp gap between the hello world and red text, and the red text is placed below the hello world. And if I remove this, there will be no gap between them. So that's all about the relative layout. Like you can design the relative layout with respect to parent and place it in the center or anywhere by using the layout center in parent, layout uh, align parent bottom, align parent end, align parent top, align parent start, these commands, these attributes. And similarly, you can set the view with respect to other, like I already mentioned the attributes for D and D, like you have to place at the end, you have to use these commands, like if you want to keep it above or below, you have to use these attributes for layout above and below. And in short, you can use this. You can refer this video, this photo, like this is a general block, ID is equals to main, layout 1, text 1 is placed as sorry, the numbering and color are different. So blue color is this, so it is placed as a to left of this, so it is placed as a left side of this. The yellow one, this one is placed as layout above, so the yellow block is placed above this ID is equals to main block. This pink block is layout underscore below, so this is placed below this ID is equals to main block, and this orange block is placed at the right side of this by Android underscore layout underscore to right of. So that's how that's all about the relative layout. So if any one of you have any doubt, you can ask me. So do you guys have any doubt? Hello guys, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you guys have any doubt, or we can just move to our next part? So basically, this is our quiz. So can anyone answer like what are the, or can anyone explain like what are different views you can see, like where you can see the linear layout or relative layout in this screen? Can anyone of you unmute and answer? Like, are you guys able to see any linear layout here? Uh, so I guess I have to answer this. Like, now you can see that this is a layout where you have an image, and below that there is a name, then this profile, visual designer or and its location, which is written in text views. Then its name, which is written in the text view with bold characteristics. And below that there are three tabs which has 14K followers, 250 following, and 3K likes. So can you answer what type of layout is this grid is using? Is it a linear layout or relative layout? Yes, linear layout. Then what type of rotation I'm using? Is it vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Okay. So now you can see that the width of each of them are equal. So you can easily see that this linear layout is using a layout weight property. And since all of them has equal weight, so what can be the layout weight for each of them? All of them have equal amount of size. So can you tell what could be the layout weight of these blocks? So as we already discussed, like if we want to set each of the block as same size, we have to set each of them as equal layout weight. We can set the layout weight is equals to 1 for this block. Then similarly, layout weight is equals to 1 for this block, and layout weight is equals to 1 for this block. And since this consists of two things, one is 114K followers and consists of text views placed inside them, and above that there is an again a text view here, image view, and yes, can you guys answer like how you are placing this icon at the top right corner? Like which layout will you use? Relative layout or linear layout? Like with which layout it will be easier to place icon at the top right corner, in relative layout or in linear layout?
Relative layout.
Yes, relative layout. If you will use relative layout, then it will be very easy for you to place this icon in the top right corner. Similarly, for this yellow plus button, you can see that it is very easy to use the layout for, like you can center it in the vertical and place at the end of the screen, and it gives some margin, and it will be placed at this position approximately. So with relative layout, it is easy to set these two buttons, and below that you can use a linear layout at the bottom and place these text separated by three text views. So in the next step, I am just showing you like what are the different type of views which I've used here. So you can see that this is a blue is a complete my phone. Then this pink is my image view, which consists of my image. Then green is an image view, which is placed on the top right corner, and between that there is an button called button of white yellow color plus button, which is placed in this red border dot. Uh, and there are two text views, Talon Jacobus, visual designer, United States, which are just a text view placed inside. And then there is exist and linear layout, which with the childs have equal weight, and inside that there is a text view, or you can use two text views here in the native layout, and just put your text inside that. So any doubts regarding that, guys?
No, sir.
So I guess time is already too much. I was thinking to design this complete in my Android Studio, but I think I should give it as a homework for you guys. Is it okay? Will you guys
Yes.
be able to will you guys be able to try this at your own?
We will try, but the video meeting will be shared, right?
Yes. Complete recording will be shared, and the Android Studio code I have written, I will share at the last page of the slide the whole link about the code gist file, and I will also we have already shared you some document on intro to Android development. You guys must open this document first to start exploring. We have explained everything about what is the introduction about the Android, what is Android, and like how to move to this. And to set up Android Store correctly, please refer to this video and blog. And even if you have not set up your Android Store properly, you can just start this course. In this course itself, you will be able to see how to set up your Android Studio for Windows, Mac, and Ubuntu. And let me just open this video course for you. This is an Android Studio course, user interface course provided by Google itself. It is completely free. You guys can easily explore this and start your Android Studio journey from there. In this, there are 5 steps for basic layouts, building layouts part 1, part 2. Just click on part 1. In the part 1, the first end video will show you how to install Android Studio and how to install and set up completely installing Java and everything. After the 11th video, you will see that they will explain you everything about what is views, which we have already explained in today's session. But please refer to these videos for gaining more knowledge, because a 2-hour lecture cannot explain you everything. Then there are some multiple features like how to use the text view with text size and text color. There will be some feedback sessions. There will be some quizzes in this course itself. And there are many other parts like part 2, practice set, project. And we have already listed one video for you to learn more about the layout part in detail in English and Hindi. And it is more evident to learn about Android Studio Android using a documentation. If anyone wish to read blog, you can refer to this documentation. Other than this is your basic target for learning the UI sources. So everyone, please try to complete this basic course by Udacity, which consists of very short time. You can easily do this in 1 week or in less than that. But try to learn as much as you can, and refer to this video if you have not understood linear layout completely, and try to create this complete XML design in your Android Studio as your homework. Is it okay, guys?
By when should we complete this?
I will share a Google form and with deadline and everything. So how much time do you think it will take?
10 days maybe. I mean, we need to go through
Okay.
all that Google things you shared also. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we will provide you 2 week time before we go to the next session on the Android development, because we will also take one more session after some time, and in that we will explain you how you can link your app programmatically and run programs in your code so that your app will be completely dynamic. Because till now our app is completely static; it doesn't work anything by clicking on any of these buttons. So we will explain everything like how to use the program features, like how to use dynamic features in the Android app in the next session. So before that, try to finish everything and try to complete this task. And we will again give you one more task and try to do that for layout designing too. And don't forget to refer to our documentation. And if you guys have not joined our Discord community or WhatsApp community, please join it. We will share the slides and keep asking your doubt in the WhatsApp community itself. So if anyone have any doubt, then he and she can ask the doubt, or we can wrap up the session.